a New Jersey man. He's a violence intervention specialist, or he was. He's been killed by the police. Put his picture up full mask. A lot of questions here. 31-year-old Najee Seabrooks, a member of the Paterson Healing Collective, was fatally shot by a city police officer on Friday afternoon after a 5-hour standoff while he was barricaded inside of his home. Although initial details remain sketchy, it is clear Seabrooks was in a mental health crisis. But activists and law enforcement are at odds over whether the shooting was actually justified. Remember, he was a violence intervention activist. Seabrooks became involved with the Healing Collective, which is part of the New Jersey Violence Intervention and Prevention Coalition, after he was a victim of a shooting, ironically. Members of the Paterson Healing Collective condemned the shooting, accusing city police of preventing them from helping their friend and colleague. They said police should not have allowed the situation to escalate to the point where deadly force was used. Law enforcement officers said they could not permit civilians to participate in the crisis negotiations with someone in an emotionally disturbed state of mind. A Paterson police union leader said the cops at the scene had no choice but to fire their guns when Seabrooks brandished a knife and moved towards them. 2 officers fired the guns. Authorities have not revealed how many bullets struck Seabrooks. Now, naturally, that's not true. We have covered stories right here on Indisputable. We got video of white males charging the police with knives, no gunshots. As a matter of fact, sometimes the police just took cover, ran away, or used a taser. One cop literally engaged in combat in order to preserve the man's life. So no, this is not their only choice to kill him. It was not clear what prompted Seabrooks to barricade himself inside of his apartment building on 20 Mill Street. Police officials said he was treated as an emotionally disturbed person and that the department's emergency response team was deployed to negotiate with him, okay? The New Jersey AG's office announced Friday that it was now investigating this. Why were non-lethal tactics, why were they not used? 3 high-ranking anonymous sources familiar with the investigation said the deceased had broken some water pipes and started a small fire in the apartment during a standoff between him and police. City firefighters were able to extinguish the blaze. The broken pipes and fire hoses left water on the floor of the apartment, which also mixed with spilled alcohol, precluding the use of tasers. So they're saying because of this water and this mixture, they could not utilize a non-lethal tactic. I want to remind everybody, he wasn't on the run. He wasn't trying to evade authorities. He was having a mental health crisis. You understand? He was having a mental health crisis. He literally gets shot and killed because he is in a state of mental confusion. That's like you or me being shot or killed because we have a medical condition. That's all it is. It's a medical condition. Nobody should have a bullet inside of them because they have a medical condition. Social justice activists have now called for authorities to release video immediately, recordings immediately of the incident so that the public would know what happened. Seabrooks' death prompted the city's Black Lives Matter group on Saturday to call for the restructuring of the Paterson Police Department and demanding that Paterson create a civilian crisis assistance team composed of social workers and intervention specialists to handle cases of people having mental health crisis. And that's exactly what they can do. I want to give a big shout out to people like Sheriff Kibo in Gwinnett County, Georgia, who created a mental health response team as soon as he was elected sheriff of that county. It has been a very effective tactic in making sure you do not recreate this cycle of dysfunction in our criminal justice system. But it takes leaders like him and others to transform this narrative. This man should be alive. David, thoughts here?
I don't understand when the police say, no, we can't have civilians be part of this. I don't understand what they're talking about. If a civilian, a family member, a friend, a colleague is the person who's able to help de-escalate tensions and is able to get Mr. Seabrooks to calm down a little bit, why wouldn't you go in that route? Right. The civilian doesn't have to be within arm's distance, but can go in there and talk. And then secondly, it's the idea that, well, we couldn't use a taser because that might electrocute him, but it was okay for us to shoot him.
Right.
I mean, that does not make any sense. And I think to your point, I think this is a leadership crisis in Paterson. And clearly there was some reckless disregard for the value of this man's life, maybe because of his previous work. And it's sad on so many levels.
So many. We will bring you updates as they come.